Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another edition of Hello Pastor with Reverend Dr. Chandler G. Freeman. My name is Dennis Jai, and we are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. In last week, we talked about substance abuse and the Zogo crisis. The issue of Zogos, or some call them the disadvantaged youth, or our brothers and sisters that are sleeping in the graveyard, and most of them are on drugs. That's a very serious issue. So this week we found people who are working in the front lines of the Zogo crisis. And we are so delighted to have two of them that are working in the front lines, and they are from, sorry about that picture. Two of those that are working in the front lines of the Zogo crisis are with us today. But before I bring them forward, I would like to introduce the presenter of the show, the pastor himself, Reverend Dr. Chandler G. Freeman. Reverend, welcome, and thank you for making this possible.
Brother Dennis, it's always an honor for us to be here, to be able to tackle one of the major issues that's affecting, young people in the country. I'm honored to be here today. It's a blessing to be able to share light on such an important and be a part of such an important conversation.
Thank you. And we are also happy to have two of those that are at the front line of the Zogo crisis, representing Jojo Hope House of Substance Freedom and Zogo We Care. Those are the two organizations being represented here. I know they do a lot more, but I am so delighted to welcome Josephine Kerkula.
Koluba.
Josephine Koluba. Yeah, or Jojo for short. That's how she's called. Jojo, we are so happy to have you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's an honor. It's good to be around the pastors.
Right.
Yeah.
And we the members.
We are the members tonight.
Yeah. So Jojo, we are so happy to have you. I've watched most of your videos long time ago, and I see you in all the ghetto, all the places. I'm so happy. I'm honored to have you. I learned it from Pastor Freeman when they say, "Can any good thing come out of natural?" Yes, it can. Most of the time, we hear bad news from Liberia. People are doing bad things, but there are still good people doing good things in the country. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me also welcome Pastor Caleb S.G. Domah. He is Zogo We Care. He cares for the Zogo. Pastor Domah, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Okay. Thank you, Dennis, and thank you, Pastor Freeman. It's a pleasure being here, and I'm honored by your invitation, honored and humble at the same time. Sharing the same platform with people like Jojo is a real honor.
Thank you.
Pastor Domah, embarrassed me. Pastor Domah, embarrassed me. No, sir. Thank you. I'm humble, sir.
Yeah, Jojo, you're doing an incredible job. I'm proud of you. I watch you a lot, and so before the show starts, just say one gun for Jojo, gun. Two gun for Jojo, gun. Pastor Freeman, you know it, right? Because Pastor Freeman, before we even begin, I want Jojo and Pastor Caleb to talk about them, themselves a little bit. But I want to start with you. Why is this program important? And you thought that we should be able to bring Jojo and Pastor Caleb here to talk about those that are working in the front lines.
Yes, I think that the thing is that, from a biblical perspective, Jesus said, when he said that we should be salt of the earth and light of the world. And when I see what they're doing, I think they embody that to me, because they are making an impact, they are influencing lives and everything, and they are at a critical point. They're there at the front line. And so, for me, there's no greater understanding or no greater meaning of what it means to be the light of the earth, the salt of the world. And so that's what they're doing. So I wanted for us to put the camera on them and hear their stories and everything and be in conversation with them. And that will even help us better to know how we can be of a support and everything in terms of tackling this crisis.
Thank you. So let me begin by just learning a little bit. Jojo, I know you do a lot, Pastor Domah, you do a lot, but for the sake of our audience, let me start with you, Jojo, to tell us a little bit of Josephine Koluba, aka Jojo. Anytime I watch you, even when they're trying to make noise, they say they got a 5-star, this side 4-star. Jojo say, "You listen to me, I'm 4-star," and she commend the whole group, and they listen to her. I'm saying, who is this Jojo? So tell me a little bit, and my audience a little bit, Jojo. Just a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay. So thank you so much again for having me. It's an honor. Let me just start off by saying the confidence you see with me in the ghetto comes from, I mean, I don't want to sound righteous, but since I'm on the platform with pastors, I'm going to use that authority. I believe so much that God has given us so much authority to bound, to command, to say no. You know what I'm saying? So most times when I'm over there, I'm believing that God is speaking through me in whatever I say. Every time I'm going to the ghetto, I'm always praying that God put your words in my mouth that I may command and they will listen. So every time I'm going to the ghetto, I'm fully and solely depending on God. That's why I don't even carry much securities just for them to help me around with my equipment. But I don't really carry people as securities to say they can guard me because I know it's only God that guards me. So going over there, I carry with me so much authority, believing in God that He's with me all through the whole process. Like you said, my name is Josephine Koluba. I'm from Lofa County. I'm a Loma woman. From Yela town to be precise, Zaza district. What else?
Tell us
I
about
love
the Jojo house.
Yes, the Jojo Hope House. The Jojo Hope House of Substance Freedom is in Painesville there. We've been running that program for over a year now, almost going 2 years, by the grace of God. It's been good, sometimes very challenging, but we've been pushing, praying, and hoping that we get the best out of whatever we have to offer. What else? We recruit. We go to the ghetto, as you all know, recruit people. First of all, try to build a relationship with them, because the only way I feel like the other day, I think yesterday, I posted on my page, I was like, you have to go lower than your level in order to tap in realms that are higher than your level. Yeah. So in order for me to bring you on board my level, I have to go down to your level. So that's the strategy sometimes I use to go through to these guys. So pretty much we're just doing it, trying to buttress the effort of everyone. A very big shout out to you, Pastor Slep. We are all doing the same thing. There's no, we all have the same dreams, I'm sure. We all want to see our country better. We all want to make sure that our future generation is secure. So pretty much that's it. I'm just one of those girls that want to see her country better. So yeah.
Thank you. Before I go to Pastor Caleb, I just want to play a short clip of Jojo Jojo in the front lines. Take a look. Oops. Jojo, briefly, I mean, you and you are more than. What was happening there?
I was making flour with it. I was like, well, I hear you couldn't cook all these, like I've been here for over 5 hours. You should have cooked. And I do that to get through to them that we are all the same.
Yeah.
And if the day they bring food, I will eat that food. So they were like, oh, no, Jojo. We didn't really think about it because we were playing the music, everybody got carried away, but we got water, so we bring in 10 bags. I said, okay, I'll bring the 10 bags. And of course, they brought the 10 bags. I drank some right before them. So that allows me to get through to them. They know that, okay, first of all, you see how I twist my heart. So nobody got that part of me already. So when I go there, I become part of them. I become one of them. So it's easy when I tell them, like, listen, this life is not going to carry you anywhere. This is the way to destruction. You can be better than this, So it's easy to get through to them when I have already been a part of them. But what I was doing there, yeah. So that was in point four. That was in point four. Most people were very afraid for me that day. They were like, that's one of the worst ghettos across there. Nobody can go there, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I'm not nobody. I'm going there with love in my heart. I'm going there with clear mind, and I'm going to do what I want to do. And I did. That's what you see. So,
Thank you. Pastor Caleb, Zogos with
Yes,
care.
sir.
Just a little bit of yourself and what you do.
I'm Caleb Domah. I graduated from the University of Liberia, and I transitioned to the seminary, Baptist Seminary. When I was going there, I was not going there to be a preacher. I was going there because I was interested in youth work. And I did all of that. I played basketball for the national team for 8 years. In fact, people who know that. So that's it. Zogo with care. I mean, I've been in the ghetto since 2012. In 2018, we started Zogo with care. One of the things that, we started in the graveyard on Center Street. In fact, thank you for today. Exactly 5 years ago, today was the first time we acted with the people as Zogo We Care. So today is anniversary for us, and we are planning to celebrate big time with our friends during the 26th season. What do? We have an entry into the different ghettos. Most times I will carry food. I will carry a medical team. We will screen, we will give some level of medication, but they will eat. If it means dancing, we will stand there and dance with them. We will talk. I always have social workers and counselors with me who will pick someone to talk to. We take them to rehabs. When they are rehabilitated, last year we sent from the one person to vocational schools in around Monrovia. We also help our leadership to go to school and improve on the work they're doing. In fact, 2 of them will be graduating from the UMU this time. I call these children I don't just call them precious jewels. They are my diamonds in the dirt. They are my diamond. Look, I'm convinced that there is so much in these guys. And they were carried away by the wave of, they were carried away. One story I always tell people, I went to the ghetto in Parker Pin. I've gone that day to carry my laptop to go repair. And they told me it will cost me $120. I said, no, I don't have that money now. I'm running to go do something. When I got there, the guy, get careful, what's in the bag? I said, my laptop. Let me see it. I said, let's go to service first. and I do regular services there. My church is in the my church is in ghettos. After the service, he said he wanted. I said, "Y'all go eat, do your medical. I will give you my." After 4 hours, he still insists that I give him. I tell him I'm tired. I'm going home. Like that boy gave me his telephone number. He gave me a telephone number. He said, "When you get home, call me. We'll see what we'll do." Because I don't like to disappoint them, I call, even though I was tired. He said, "Turn your computer on. Press this button. Do this one. That one. What do you see?" That computer that somebody wanted me to pay $120 for that ball, repair it remotely. Remotely.
Wow.
I mean, there are so much skills. And I am of the conviction, if we don't do something about them, Liberia will continue to be brain drained. Our children, actually, I called your number yesterday, Jojo. I was going to Tinker Village Ghetto, and I wanted you to go along with me. I've heard so much about you. When and the ghetto means you out of town. You out of the country.
Yeah.
Look, every ghetto I've gone to lately, it's about 3 times more. 300% more than it was 3 months ago.
Wow.
The industry is growing so fast, faster than anything I can think about.
I heard Jojo said the same thing when she went to one ghetto. She said, "I've seen ghetto in other places, but Liberia ghetto is too many, and pretty soon the people that are in the ghetto will be more than the people that are outside the ghetto," and that was scary. I know you have.
Let me get to set the pace. Let me give you a statistics that I've been dealing with.
Okay.
In 2018, some people did a work and they said there are about 200,000 people on drugs. By the time we came to 2021, 2022, for me, I was saying there were about 300,000. But lately, the Ministry of Gender said that children below 14 are more than 350,000. So I'm putting at the lower end, I'm saying assume now that there are 500,000 people living on drugs. Look, with that, and this is the fastest growing industry in Liberia. When I think about it, by the time we get to the next midterm election, we may be 1.5 million. We may have 1.5 million of our citizens living on drugs. 1.5 million can elect 40 representatives. They can elect 30 senators. If it continues like that until we get to an election that we want president, 1.5 million people vote for one person, they can elect their own as a president.
So we can have a Zogo president.
Yes.
Yes.
Sounds.
Think about it this way. If we don't do anything about it, it doesn't matter how big or high you make the fence around your house. Your fence is just as high as the ladder that I big. But you got to get outside. Your children got to go to school. They got to go to market. We need to take care of our children now if our future will be bright together. For me, I tell everybody, our future is dying right before our eyes and nobody cares except for people like Jojo.
And you, Pastor Caleb. And you and others. Yeah. Yeah.
Pastor Freeman.
Yes, let me okay, so we've heard.
Look, I went to
1 second, Pastor Domah. Go ahead, Pastor Freeman.
Pastor Keller, let me come in.
Yeah.
Okay, so
go ahead.
We've heard the problem. What I want to know is, I will start with Jojo, and then Pastor Caleb, I will come to you concerning the second question. because you've all kind of painted the picture to give us an idea of the current reality. And one of the things that you all said, which is very, very interesting to me, is what is happening in terms of the underground drug industry and the crisis and how it's growing, how the numbers are growing. My question to you all, and I will start first with Jojo and then I will come to you, Pastor Caleb. Uh, I want you, Jojo, to tell me. I know you have so many people that you've worked with. Can you just tell me one success story or two of individuals that you've worked with? Just talk to me about just two success cases, where they were before you met them, and now where they are and everything. Just tell me just two cases I want you to talk to me about.
All right, so I'm smiling because most of my family members, as I usually call them, actually follow me and they follow my activities. So speaking of name now, I just about to get into a trouble. Be like, oh, Salma, so you call my name with all this success. No, but I will pick. I will choose. I will just take a story. I know them. Okay,
Just
so
two success cases.
yes. So all of you that are watching that might watch this, just know that your story coming up very soon. Um, there was this story of I will start with some of the familiar names and faces that people know on social media, my followers, because when I started this, I started it on social media. Every step of the way with those people that I worked with, I show it on social media. And the reason why I did that was to show people that these things actually they are happening and we can actually get results if we just put in some effort. So I started with a group of boys and girls. But one of the two girls stood out for me. But I will just talk about one so that I can pick another guy. Um, her name is Musu. She's not a Liberian. She's from Guinea, but she's been in Liberia from the time she was younger. She was living in a ghetto. I met her in a ghetto. According to her story, she got into this whole drugs habit through a man that she was dating. He had money to, take care of himself, but at some point they broke up. So she had to just keep on feeding the habit. So she went into prostitution and later she moved in the ghetto and then she was just getting bad and worse and bad and worse until I met her. So when I met her, I had my doubts about her. At the same time, I wanted to give her the opportunity. And the fact that she was not even a Liberian also made me to want to do it. Because when I go in the ghetto, I really don't care where you're from. The fact that you're a human being, you live in Liberia, I want to work with you if you are willing to be worked with. So I took her from there by the grace of God. At the time, we didn't have the rehab. So I took her to ES Grant. A very big shout out to ES Grant. They really helped me with the first batch of patients that I took from the ghetto. And she got detox from the ES Grant. I took her to some recovery center on a highway, but then she spent a couple of weeks and they couldn't make it. She, the woman that was there, she was trying to run away. I caught her right in the middle of Congo town and I took her at the rehab that we have now. At the time, we're still building the place. Long story short, she spent some time there. I took them, sent them home. I rented a place for her. Like I said, she was not Liberian. I rented a place for her to go for 2 weeks break and see whether everything that we've taught her, everything, all the things that we've been through, if she was taking anything in. So I sent her out for 2 weeks. She came back. I did a test. She was negative, as in there was no drugs, no new intake of drugs. Um, so I gave her small money. I don't think it was even up to 200, I think $100. I gave it to her. I like, okay, keep coming back, keep coming. I already rented her the place. So I told her to start small businesses, small market. And then she can keep coming back to the Hope House whenever she's broke. I don't want her to get distracted. Um, well, Musu now is making big business. I don't even know how she got that money, whether it was through the $100 or she found a way. she goes to Guinea now. She have reunited with her family. She got 2 kids, I think 3 kids. She united with her family, and then she goes and comes back. So I am so, so grateful for her. And the fact that every time I go to the ghetto, the thing about the ghetto people, they don't have secret. So every time I go to the ghetto, I'm like, Musuki cries, no, 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 no. How I see Musuna, you don't believe it. So I know that everything I see and everything she's telling me is true. Another person I would just really shine light on here as well is a guy that used to actually low car. For him, his parents, his family members were the one, was it family member or his school mates? They were the one that brought him at the Hope House. And we just formed that relationship. We got very close while he was there because I try as much as possible to be their besties when they are there so that they could open up to me and tell me what's the root cause of all this. We got really close. It was really hard for him. He kept going in and out. I thought he was even going to die in the process. By the grace of God, he was okay. He went through the detox. He went home, and today he's a vendor for MTN, Lone Star MTN. He comes around. I send him places. He's like a little brother to me now. So I have tons and tons of stories that I'm really grateful to God for.
So Jojo, before we go to Pastor Caleb, walk me through exactly what you do. You go to the ghetto, you get people from there, take them where. Just walk me through exactly what you do so that somebody watching us too will say, oh, okay, I'm going there.
Yeah. So this is what I do. We go to the ghetto, first of all. We build a relationship. With time, we get to know from the same people that are in the ghetto, get to know who seems really, because most of them, some of them actually, you would take them, carry them to the rehab, and then they will relapse right away because they were not even trying to, they just wanted to rest. So we take them from there, take them to the Jojo Hope House, the picture you saw, detox them. Of course, we have clinicians, we have nurses, we have counselors, psychosocial counselors. We detox them, and then we start the pre-recovery. So while they are there, we have different activities to help them. For me, I feel like the time we keep them is not too long. I really wish we had the time to make it longer than what it is. But with this that we have, this is what we are still working in our means. So we detox them and start the pre-recovery from there. When they are there, we make sure that we have some sort of family reunion because most of them are in their families, they have no relationship anymore. So we try to make sure, and that's one of the criteria. If I come to your ghetto, and no matter how much you cry, if your family members are not willing to be a part of this process, I know that I'll be wasting my time. So unless you are a foreigner or maybe you lost your parents, but wherever you have your parents, we will go there in a whole, we'll follow them there, make sure that there's some sort of reunion, family reunion, so that when you leave the rehab, you can have extra support at home. So pretty much that's our normal routine. And then family members too, who have their patients at home, because some kids are smoking, but they are still at home with their parents. So those parents also bring them over there at the rehab and admit them. So yes, that's how we go about it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for that explanation. At least we get an idea now what the process looks like. You know, yeah. Pastor Killer, I just want you to tell us briefly just 2 success stories. It can be, you can take a case of a woman, you can take a case of a guy, or something. Just 2 success stories of individuals that were in the ghetto, that were on drugs, and now today their life has been changed as a result of the outreach. Just 2 cases I want you to give us.
I think we can go to his pictures.
And in 2018, I walked to Penal Building. We served food. We were doing the medical. And there was a guy there looking at me, and he walked up to me, "To what end are you doing this?" I said, "To the end of rehabilitation and reunification with your family, with the families." He laughed. He was like, "I don't believe you." We took some time. Lawrence, his name is Lawrence Jackson. In fact, to Penal Building, they used to call him the president. After some time, after about a year, I went there, he looked at me, he said, "Pops, I'm tired with this. Like, for a decade and a half, I've been here. I'm tired with this, like being in this Domah. I say, you sure?
Tonton Killer, Pastor Killer, for those of us who've been away in the audience, who've been away from Liberia for such a long time, please tell us where is this Pennant building that you're talking about in Liberia? Where is it?
Pennant building is on Center Street near the Palm Grove Seminary. Cemetery. It's right opposite, somewhere opposite the Aradura Church there.
Okay.
It's a building, somewhere there. And I said, okay, tomorrow I'm coming for you. We're talking to Grant. He spent some time there afterwards. I didn't have a rehab at that time. We took him to another rehab. And when he completed, he said he was coming to see me. I had people with me. I work with them. I try to build. In fact, the first thing to do is to build the trust. When he was coming to me, I told the other guys, look, I know ghetto people. They got lyrics. The guy said he's free. Let's go see him. I saw him coming from distance. I told them, y'all don't have to say anything. I believe his story. He's free. I mean, I got his before picture in the ghetto, carrying wheelbarrow with dirt. I'm saying this to say that he graduated from a vocational school last year, September. Wow. No, they gone December. He now worked for GT Bank in their cooling system. I'm so very proud of Lawrence. There's another girl who we had, and she has worked with me. Yep.
Yeah, I want to go through the pictures.
The pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, Lawrence is not there.
Okay. Go ahead.
Lawrence is not there. Yeah. In fact, this girl is that also, Angie is that also there. Angie headed our girls rehab for some time. We had to close that rehab because of some financial reasons. But Angie was there for something like 12 years into prostitution, into drug, and when she got out of it, I mean, these are just two of them. I can go on naming them, Emmanuel, Coco, all these people. I think with the little droplets in the bucket like these, there are a lot of success stories that I can tell you about. But for the sake of the time,
yeah, let's quickly walk through your pictures because it tells the story more.
Okay.
Tell us about this place.
This is Zimbabwe in between Congo Town and Painesville in the King Gray area. Let me tell you today language, in the King Gray belt.
Okay.
The little boy is called Caleb III. He was born in the ghetto. His parents lived in the ghetto, and I took them to the hospital, and they told me he didn't have a father. So children that we got. One of them, we got them from the dump stock on Front Street, and the rest of them we got. They are my grandchildren. I'm responsible for them for everything. In fact, their school and everything. Because of these children, like I told you before, I'm into ministry because of youth and children. We are. Hey, Jojo.
Yes.
When
Sir.
I saw your rehab, when I saw your place that name, I changed my place name. I was calling it House of Hope, but when I saw your place there, I said, "Oh no, I can't carry House of Hope," so I call it Graceland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
I acquired Graceland.
So these
Um,
children, their mothers are in the ghetto. They are Zogos.
Mm-hmm.
the baby there, yes, a drug addict. I mean, I look at these children, and I keep wondering about God's work. How can a ghetto, this child live in this panel building, no, not panel building, Zimbabwe, in a filthy place? I gotta be carrying Pampers, everything they got. I give it to them. The wall is molded green, but the child is still healthy.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's complete miracle of God. These girls, I took them from Kampala. Jojo, you know where Kampala is?
Yeah.
In Banga.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest ghetto.
So
I took them.
They got ghetto all the way outside Maserati County.
Wow.
Oh, Daniel,
There
Dennis,
are more ghettos out there than in Marvin.
Dennis,
Wow.
everywhere they call Go Camp or Domah is a ghetto.
Wow.
They stop paying. JR is you see here before and after. JR is now our my official driver. He takes me everywhere.
The picture on the left, where did you find him?
We found him in Zimbabwe.
Wow, handsome guy.
Yeah, I mean, look at Emmanuel. Look at him. Look at him before. Drug has a way of making them look older, ugly, but as soon as they start putting on back their flesh, they look so handsome. The next picture you got,
And
Coco.
what is Emmanuel doing now?
Emmanuel is going to be graduating in 2 months. And when he graduates from the rehab, we are trying to send him to vocational school.
Okay.
So that we try to do that with all of them. You see, Coco has become an electrician. In fact, he just graduated yesterday from a Bible school.
Wow.
And Coco, before that, was in the graveyard.
Yeah. His picture on the right is him in the graveyard. Yesterday he graduated from a Bible school. The Ministry of Health was doing a training in recovery. He and somebody else went to represent us at this, and they graduated also on Friday. So he had double graduation. They gone week. Yeah. This baby is less than 24 hours old. Like I said, this morning I was getting ready to go to service. To go hang out in the ghetto, and the clinic called me. One of your children here. I got there. I didn't even know her, but talking to her, she affiliated with Zimbabwe. So we ended up paying. It was $105 for all the thing in the hospital, and got her out. I took her back to Zimbabwe. I said the child can stay here. We went to somebody who's supposed to be a boyfriend, mom place, and they said they would take the child. But we had already prepared a place for this child to go because I knew the child could not stay in Zimbabwe.
So
The child.
So that's the child.
Yeah. The child is Caleb Jefferson. The two men in there, Jefferson and I got a rehab for men. So we just put our two names on his birth certificate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Caleb Jefferson. Okay.
Caleb Jefferson.
So you heard my suggestion. So if you got more, people that are watching us, we can adapt them and give them our names too, because you alone they can all be taking your name. I want my name there too.
I was speaking somewhere else the other time, and I had to do a disclaimer. I told them, look, in the future, when you see many Caleb Domah, this Caleb Domah, the second Caleb Domah, the fifth Caleb Domah, and not our promiscuous. Especially because I had to do this in the ghetto to get the children out.
Wow. Thank you. Let
Yeah.
me go to Jojo. And Jojo, you met a group of guys. I saw a video. Let me play that video. Guys, then they said their ghetto was damaged by the community people, so they were living in the swamp. I'm familiar with swamp. So
And again, I say good morning. Yes, this is my community. This is where I reside, and I've been hearing of rumors that they broke these guys' ghetto and they moved in the swamp right now. So the community people trying to see how better they can chase them all of the swamp. So I met one person and he heard that I'm with you. So he appealing to you while you're listening to your voice himself. So you can speak to Jojo to listen.
See Jojo.
Come here so she can get him.
See Jojo. Yeah, we are in a chicken farm community, but now our ghetto have been demolished from the community people. And then now what we find ourselves in the mango bush. Yeah. We find ourselves in the mango bush where we sleep and where we spend our day. Some more go out, we cut our contract in another day. We find ourselves sleeping in the mango bush because parents neglect here because they have anything and no means up. So we need your help, see Jojo. At least come to our rescue. You help us. And then we achieve when they have him, man. Yeah, we get appealing to you, man.
Everybody don't help our man.
We need a system, man. Because we learn the counselor is living in our community, and every morning you're all the kind we call us, to talk to us. Yeah, so we decided to talk to you too, as a CEO for the team. So we're very appealing to you.
Jojo, describe what is that like? Somebody coming to you, and say, I'm living, they damage our ghetto, they demolish it, so now we're living in the swamp, and the black mosquito in that swamp. I was living, Jamaica Road, behind Saco. I know that company is still there. Behind there, the swamp that we used to go there for wood, and the mosquito. So, how does that feel? Somebody coming to you with that kind of request?
I mean, it's heartbreaking. Even you that they didn't call your name, your heart was broken. I saw you saying, It's something that is, you see, that's why sometimes I just run away from that whole labor. I can't rest my mind because it's psychological. You want to be of help to everyone. You want to make sure that everyone is looked after, listened to, but you can't do all. So, it's heartbreaking. It's unbearable. Sometimes I just cry. Sometimes I can really cry. Like I just be crying and just so upset in my spirit, and I'm praying. I'm like, oh God, we need help, man. We need help. It's heartbreaking. To answer your question, yeah, it's nothing to want to watch.
I saw you in the other ghetto. I mean, you went there and you said you were going to take 5% out of the ghetto, right? But then 9 came forward. So you did a raffle. So when you open it and then your name is there, that means you're going for the rehab. And those whose names were not in that book, they were so discouraged. Yes. And then you said, at the end of the day, you say, okay, all of you go. I mean, what is that desire for them? Do they really want to leave? Because the little girl was crying that she was not picked initially.
Yeah.
Describe that for me. And what is it, their desire? They really want to get out of the ghetto. That's why it seems like.
Some of them are really tired. Some of them are tired. And some of them don't know that just living the ghetto is not the thing. There's a lot of pain that comes with living the ghetto. There's a lot of endurance. There's a lot of process. So some of them are really, like out of that 9 people I carry, I actually went for 5%. But I didn't want to discourage or to break anyone down. So I was like, if y'all can manage, if we can live like family, even though the place is big, for me, I like space in their rooms because I want everyone to have their own, separate privacy. So if you guys can decide to be, one family, we can all work together. And they all agree. And I carried 9 of them. But when I carried them, after 4-5 days, 2% gave up. 2% was like, I can't, this is not my life. My life is in the ghetto. And it takes a lot of maturity in this work to realize that indeed this person's mind is not made up, because it takes the community, it takes the person themselves, and it takes the family. So no work can be done without any of these people. So in as much as I'm in love with you, I want your life to be good. I want you to leave the streets. If your mind is not made up, there's nothing much that I can do. So yes, I work with 7 of them. Some of them are still there. I left them there. They will be there until I get back. And they're doing pretty well. They're doing, you see them and say, oh, they're face shiny. Like some of them have added so much weight. Yeah, so we
So Jojo,
want to help.
let me ask you a question, Jojo.
And Pastor Freeman, if you can move your camera because your face is down, we can.
Okay. Is it much better now?
Yes, at least we can see your chin. It's better. Good.
Okay. I wanted to know, Jojo, the typical detox program is for how long? But the program, how long do they stay at the house? I know the detox, you all do it to be initially with them, but usually the program, like the 7, like how long would they be there? Or like usually, like just it doesn't have to be exact, but just give me an idea.
We keep them. The detox just take 5 to 7 days. That's how
Okay.
long we can give them treatment. Except if they have like an external health issue, then we have to deal with that. But when it comes to the detox, it takes 5 to 7 days. But they stay there entirely. The all-round program stays 4 to 8 weeks.
Oh, okay.
4 to 8 weeks, at most 12 weeks, but 4 to 8 weeks. So the first 1 month, if there's a need, 2 months. If there's a need, 3 months. But at most 4 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jojo,
Okay, brother, let me go back to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so now let me ask a quick question because she identified something as I was listening to her talking and being a licensed counselor too. I just wanted to know, like, the job, the work you all do is so stressful. What do you do for self-care, Jojo? And I would ask Pastor Killer the same question too. Like, I mean, the thing you're seeing, you're getting a lot of, you get, the needs are even greater than the resources and everything. So what do you do for self-care and everything?
What do I do for self-care? That's a serious question. I've never asked myself that.
You left from there at least to relax.
It's important.
Yeah,
Before
to
the man become the patient one day. Yes, but most times I burn myself out. Is very, I think it's a risky job. And the longer I stay into it, the more I'm learning on the job. So what I did, my family, I moved them out of the country. Because sometimes I stay in the street 1, 2 a.m. So I don't want to be running after other people where I lose mine. So I moved them out of the country. So every once in a while, maybe 2 or 3 times in a year, I leave from home and come here and rest. So I think that's all I'm
have
doing
you
for
been able to
now.
really rest?
That the question I'm asking myself too. Like I try my best. At least it's better here than Moravia because when I'm in Moravia, it's bad. I can't even. Sometimes I will lock myself up and I'm like I'm about to rest. I turn my phones off, but then my mind keeps working. So at least here, I mean, I wind it down a little bit. But yes, the traveling is helping me once in a while, and sometimes I just cry. Crying also helps me because I just cry. Then it's like I'm just letting it out. I cry a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, so yeah.
Yeah, so the job is of the nature because being a counselor and everything is where you can take the job home with you. It's a real thing. You have to be able to do the work, but then when you come home, you have to work in such a way you can take the job home with you just so that you can really be able to not burn out. Pastor Killer, what do you do for to just relax, or what helps you with this kind of work that's so stressful?
Um, uh, Pastor, when you say you can't take the job, you heard her there. Sometimes you go home, you just cry.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's taking the job home, and we all do that. There were one day I went to one ghetto in Tottenberg. There were 14 year, the 14 year and below were like 16 in that ghetto, and theirs were drugs that they bought from the drugstore, and they were there snuffing, taking it, and all of that. It broke my heart so much that last Christmas, it broke my heart so much. I came home crying. Thank God I got an understanding wife. I went to bed at night crying. She woke me up at about 2 o'clock. We sat down. She we, she prayed for us and all of that. But most of the time, I got little brothers who are into counseling, but they are all out of here. So I will sometimes call my duaco. I will call some of my pastors' friends in the U.S. and ask them, "What do you do? I don't want to burn out. What do you do?" And Jojo will relate to it. We are few and far apart. I'm trying to bring us together so that sometimes we can sit down and talk our stories. This will help to comfort, each other. Like I got a program with parents of former addicts and addicts. And I bring them together twice a month. One story comforts the other person, and they do that all the time. I'm saying even us who work in this field need to do that type of thing so that we can be a source of encouragement to each other. This is the way I do it. And like she said, maybe when I'm flying out of this country, I go to work, but it's not the same. It's much more. It's a different type of work. It takes your mind off the ghetto here and put you on something else. And when you come back refreshed.
That's right. That's true.
I think, Brother Dennis, you on mute.
So Jojo, how you got started into this? What piqued your interest and you found yourself doing this? I'm curious.
That's a good question. Yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna give you the answer that I usually give because that's the only answer I have. Um, one thing about me, I don't know if it's something I keep reoccurring in my life is most times when I start things, I really don't know other people were in it. I don't know how it happened, or I don't know how much it means to other people at that point. So I didn't start out by being or humanitarian. I did not start out by being that. I mean, by nature, people say I'm kind. That's by nature. That's what people say. Um, I'm a TV person. Okay, so I'm into television, radio, and acting. That's my thing. But then there was this day I wanted to create something like a content. It was just so like effortless. I wanted to create content at the same time. I wanted my content because on the Coffee with Jojo platform, I try to inspire people there. So any content that is going to be educative, entertaining, informative is what I try to upload. So there was this day I like, I'm going to the ghetto today. I knew there was ghetto, but I didn't know how deep because I lived out of Liberia for a long time. So coming back, I could see people in the street literally, but I didn't know that this was a whole government set up there. One of my team members were like, okay, but if you want to go in the ghetto, I can take you to one of the ghetto, Florence Bala. Very big shout out to you, Florence. So we went to the ghetto. The first place was in Looking Town. It was just a thing of creating content and bringing awareness to that because I felt like it was educative or it was informative. I remember that day I even went with my son. I was like, okay, come go see, so that you avoid these kind of things. So when we went there, from creating content, I became the content. So I forgot the entire content making when I went there. I was like, this is reality. This is something that is not supposed to just be a content creation. This is something that I have to be a part of it. I need to talk about this more. I need to bring this to the attention of my people. I have quite a following. At least my people can see it. People who follow me can see it. The news can spread. And that's just how it started. So I put the cameras down and I became a part of them. And since that day, the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the
That's it.
big question is, this a lot of money you're doing. Where the money coming from? And Pastor Caleb, please stand by for that question too.
It's definitely stand by what I'm going to. Yes. So it's awkward talking about the money business all the time because sometimes I'm trying to be so careful because I don't like to take glory in this whole thing that I'm doing. I'm afraid of taking the glory like that. But for the sake of explaining and talking to the people that are listening to us, when I started this, I had stores. I was selling things. I had shops. So that's one of the things that helped me in the beginning. I had stores. I had one in supermarket, Banansville. I had one at Radita Market, and I had one around the street. So that was my first source of income. And then from there, my business started breaking down small, small. I thought it was a joke. And I couldn't stop myself. My staffs were complaining. I couldn't stop myself. I kept pushing because when you are in it, you want to do more. It's so contagious. You can't do it for 1 week unless you don't have the passion. So the passion started growing, and I kept going in and going in. And I broke the first one down. I was like, okay, I'll manage with the two. Now I broke the second one down. I said, okay, I'll manage with the third one. From there, my platform, a very big shout out to all the people who have been very supportive. Sometimes, especially in the beginning, people will be very generous to me. They will send me small money here and there, 50, 100, 200. It was helping me a lot. And then it's just the grace of God that we are working on now. Like, yeah, it's just the grace of God. Yeah. So family members, friends, everybody just putting it together, I feel like Liberia, right now where I am, I see people laying on the streets anyhow. I'm thinking, I'm like, Liberia, we are very unique people. I think we have love in Liberia. There was a man I just came from Canada. I had an interview with him before coming here. And that's one of the things he said that really meant something to me. He was like, what you guys have here, we have it over there in Canada. People are laying on the streets, smoking drugs, and everybody just pass and go their way. If everyone feels that this is the government job. But then in Liberia, we see it as, oh, my brother on the road. Oh, so we have this heart of love. So when you get into it, you will only start going deeper and deeper, especially if you are passionate about it. So the grace of God has been carrying us, and many people have been very supportive to me in all ways. I can't even lie about that. Yeah.
Pastor Caleb, same question. You have
I
children.
never
You
had a
support.
store before. I never had a store before. And I can't tell you if I've ever experienced breaking down my business, which I don't have. Let me start first with how I got involved. I'm always involved with young people. Even this vacation, I'm having a 5 weeks, what I call vacation sports with 70 young people below 15. They will do basketball, they will do study class, they will do music. When I started this thing years ago, one little girl, she was about 8 years old, left this Saturday and said and I told her, I'm coming for you to go to church tomorrow. The mother said, oh, we'll come to church with you. I went to church, I didn't see them. I called them after service and everybody is crying. What happened? They raped the little girl yesterday. I said, what? I went and they showed me the blood stain. I could kill anybody. So I really hated them. And one day somebody came to me and said, Pastor Caleb, you work with young people. You want to feel the girls there in the street. I said, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Because I knew the hatred I had for them. They got behind me 3 weeks. I said, okay, let me try. I went there and we started to do it, feeding. That's how I got into it. Like Jojo said, when you get into it and you got a passion for it, then nothing can stop you. How do I get money to do it? I beg. My biggest financial is my wife in this thing. She give me her tithes. She go over and beyond as I go. I got friends all across the world who send me this amount, that amount every now and then. I mean, some of them consistently do it because they believe in what I'm doing. I got a friend, a little brother, we play basketball together. Somebody said a few years ago they wanted to help these people. And he just turned around and said, look, if even I myself, he was talking to a person, if even I myself in Liberia, I will not promise you to give me your money. The one person I know can do in Liberia, that killer. And the person called me and then I told the person, the person that I said, how you can tell me about my ministry like this? Like, what I'm doing? And we just she just busted and started crying. She said, God led me to you. God led me to you. And we've been in it since then, since 5 years ago, doing it like that. But I'm just saying, it's tough for individuals to do this. Somebody just told me the other day, Caleb, you can't save the world. And I said to that person, but I cannot stop saving people as I go along. Now, I got 4 more girls that are pregnant to Zimbabwe alone. I told the clinic when they go there, just call me. Just call me. These 4 girls supposed to be my family responsibility now. I'm going back to Tinga Village to pick up a girl. I should have done it tomorrow, but I can't go because there's a thank you march for Joshua by CDC, and the street will be crowded, so I can't go that way. I'm supposed to be taking 2.
Some work there. Let's see. Jojo, that your video.
Wow.
Yeah. Like the song Jojo Come With Fire. I know where they took that one from that day.
But why, Jojo? Why this situation? Why do we have this?
If you talk to many of them in the ghetto, they always say joblessness. But you see, they say when you toss onto the door, you must toss onto the boom. To an extent, I also blame these people who are on the street because I was brought up very poor. I grew up in a home where my mother could not even afford 2 cups of rice a day. Me being a woman did not follow the crowd into doing things. But people might say, okay, we are all different. We all have different resistance and stuff. Most of them complain that peer pressure. Some of them complain that, um, no job. The government is not doing this. The government is not doing that. They all have their own complaints. But I would say the fact that I heard someone saying, and this is alleged, this is not I don't have any proof for this. I heard that they have over, I don't know, 86 entries, if not more, into our little country library. So, and the borders might not be protected as much as they should be. And I think growing up for me, I think I'm telling you one of the documentaries that I did. Growing up for me, I knew what drugs was, but it was almost for rich people. It was very expensive substance. If you have to smoke drugs, that means you really get money, you have made it. Nowadays, you have people buying drugs for $250 LD. You have people buying drugs for $600. It's so common, it's cheaper than rice. So all those different things, we all have a part to play. The people who are in the street needs to play some part, and we as a country, we need to play our part. The government needs to play. Is everyone's effort that's needed now. So I would say we are all making mistake. We all making a mistake. We are all made a mistake. So that's why drugs is taking over.
Pastor Keller was asking Jojo, why do we have this situation of these Zogos that we have, and what are some of the drugs that you see them taking?
There are multiplicity of reasons why this is happening. One of it being, look, some of the children that have gotten into the habit, they were lured into it unknowingly. I've been to school where milk candy, coconut candy, soup, fish, and all are made in a way where drugs is into it, and the children are supposed to eat it. And then when they eat it for a long time, it turns them like that. There are some who just wanted to be like other people and follow the crowd. But when it comes to the point of being an addict, I know addiction is an illness that we need to deal with as illness. Like people say, but why do they go there? So now when mosquito bite you and you got malaria, why do you go to the place where mosquito is for it to bite you again? You don't know. We got to treat the illnesses that as they come. Your next question was what? What was the second question?
What kind of drugs they have in here?
What kind of drugs? Yeah. Take the kush that is killing people around. Kush is a drug that it's a leafy thing that comes from the Afghanistan or Pakistan region called Kush. That's where the name comes from. When they pick the leaf, they spray it with chemicals and dry it. And then if it reaches to Liberia, those that get it, take it and mix it up with another type of chemical and send it. If it lands in Monrovia, I put my own chemical on it. And then I start selling it. If it goes to Ganta, they put their own chemical on it. So Kush in Monrovia might be different from Kush in Freetown. Because when it gets here, yeah, some people put formaldehyde, glue. Some people will put all type of things on it. So that how come it got different reactions? You go to the ghetto, the person will tell you, I'm taking Cote. I'm taking Cote. Cote goes a different way. It's the name they have, but the real thing they are telling you is it's a cocktail. It's a mixture of different drugs. that cocktail they tell you is a mixture of different drugs. It's like mixing different drinks in a cocktail manner. The drugs in Liberia is hard to define them, because if somebody bring heroin or cocaine, it gets diluted from the heroin stage with other chemicals, with different things. The people got all the different laboratories in their homes where they are changing it. So you see, it makes you get off your mind faster and all of that. The drugs that we got here, sometimes it's very difficult to see what it is, to know what it is. And it get also mixed up with prescription drugs. The children go buy some cough medicine. I mean, they just go and say, I want cough medicine, but they won't get high. All of that.
Yeah, the overdose. Sorry, let me just come back to the question again. Is one of the reasons why I think we keep having these issues is one of the things that I've noticed in my country that we are ignoring is mental health. We have no means of managing mental health. Normal people have mental health. Normal people have mental health issues. With the way in the States and other advanced countries will go to their counselors on a normal day when they have things that they're going through to talk to them. We don't have that here. As a matter of fact, you want to keep your secret, because if you go tell the next person, you're going to tell the next person, and your business will be out there. So everyone is just keeping it within them. And another thing I would say is our country actually got exposed to drugs mostly during the time of war. Because I remember people used to be smoking the gun dust, the shot dust. They used to put it in their nose, in their mouth, and all that. And those people are now coming out. The thing is, people who were on drugs before have been existing, but they have been shying away from people knowing that they are on drugs. So they were hiding. Now that is almost like a normal thing. That's why you see some old, I've met, I even left at the place at the Hope House that I left someone that is 58, 68. So it's not like he started it in the 2000s. This is a person that started it in the 90s. So we have all of these people that had that extra baggage. Maybe after the war, when they disarmed people, maybe we did not get the proper rehabilitation that we needed from the war. So it's easy. People are traumatized. They're already looking for shortcuts. So they are now introducing that to the newer generation. Some of these people, most of these people who are on drugs are the newer generations. But the older ones from 1990, from the 80s, that already knew what drugs was, but they didn't want to put it on they were mostly stealing and, armed robbery and all those kind of things. But now that it's easy to find those very substances that they were used to or they were introduced to during the war, it's really making them happy. Some of them are the dealers now, because they know about it. They are the one doing the cocktail and all those kind of different things, because they already understand this business. Yeah, so mental health is something that we need to focus on in Liberia too, because people are going through things. People need to talk about it. People have issues with people be so mental. Some people will be driving and drive straight into the gutters because they have so many things on their mind, but we don't have an environment where we can talk about it. Yeah, that's part of the reasons, I think.
Let me add something to this.
I like how sometimes they appreciate you, right? Sometimes they appreciate you, and I saw this. I like this one.
This is what different.
Hallelujah, Yesu Kalama. What does that mean?
Yeah. It's a Bandi, I think Bandi Maze Loma song. That was for a different group actually. They were appreciating me generally, but yeah, that was from Lofa.
They said they
Yeah,
wanted
that
to
was
appreciate
wonderful.
you.
Yes.
So thank you. And I love
Thank
the
God.
song, Pastor Caleb, you were
Thank
saying
you.
something.
No, Pastor Caleb, Brother Dennis is giving an opportunity. You are speaking. You wanted to say
Yeah,
something.
because I wanted just for us to have little church because Pastor Freeman wanted to have church, so I brought the gospel.
Okay.
No.
Like I was saying, the issue of drugs. I mean, Pastor Freeman and I talked about it last time. It's so explicit, and I see the same reactions even some places in the Bible. There's a story of Jesus crossing the sea and going through the mountain, through the graveyard. That boy there, the chains could not hold.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you know the story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jesus
it's
met the
Mark.
Zogo.
It's Mark chapter 5. Mark chapter 5.
Yeah, Mark chapter 5. The disciples knew that guy was there. I imagine them walking behind Jesus and stepping on his foot because they were scared. But when he started taking drugs, just think about it. His parents couldn't believe it. They didn't even know when things started disappearing. Maybe he had brothers and sisters in the house. When they say so, the man said, "No, that ain't him. The boy is the most handy person here." When community people started reporting him, mother stood by him and said, "That's not him." That boy, until that boy left the house, he went to the edge of the swamp where other people were, and they built a makeshift house and moved into it. When it came to that point where he started stealing plenty, that when they started putting him into chains, doing a lot of harmful things, and then he started breaking it up. You see, when people living in the graveyard today, I want to equate it with that.
Yeah.
That boy ran from when he broke the chains, he ran into the graveyard because everyone was afraid of graveyard. They don't expect to see the living among the dead. So when he started to live in that place and harass everybody, he jacked everything for everybody that there, nobody passed that road. When Jesus decided to pass that road that day, his disciples were afraid. I'm saying this to say, Jojo, thank you. Thank you for the path you've taken to pass. There are a lot of people looking at you. There are a lot of people walking behind you, stepping behind your foot, afraid because you are walking this road. They will say, "Oh, that beautiful girl, what is she doing over there?" But there's a call upon your life, and I admire you for it. You have become my hero.
Oh,
You
okay,
have
I won't
become my
cry.
hero. Eh?
I don't feel like crying. Oh.
Yeah. No,
Thank you. It means a lot.
seriously,
It
you
means
have
a lot.
really become my hero.
It means a lot.
And I also want to say to my nephew Gene, Pastor Freeman, and Dennis, thank you for this level of awareness. We go through a lot. We go through a lot. And I understand what Jojo is going through. We got to feed these people in the rehab, medical, and not just feeding them. We got to make them feel like normal people again.
Mm-hmm.
At least you keep them for about 8 weeks. To go through my program, it will take 9 months. We do it 9 months because I mean there's a time we let you go.
Mm-hmm.
There's a time we let you go. We have farm that we send them on to go do other things, to go learn farming. We teach them other things. But I'm just saying here that we are going through a lot. And thank you for this level of publicity that you've given to it.
Thank you. And if you are watching us and you want to be a part of the conversation, we have just a few minutes to close. Please call the number on the screen, 605-313-6004. The code is 791-403#. And if you want to get in contact with Pastor Caleb, or you want to get in contact with CEO Jojo, maybe some of you didn't watch the video, but when she's on the front line, she's called CEO Jojo. So even the ghetto people, when they try to make noise, she say, look, and they have, Jojo, you will tell us also about their structure. I interviewed someone who said they have a better structure, even more than the police. And if you even lost something and you go to their head, they can find it for you wherever it is. It can be any part of the country.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's a structural government going on with it.
So if you want to join the conversation, please call. And if you also want to get in
Well
contact,
structured.
because this is everybody's business.
Jojo,
Brother Dennis, I will
when I
want you
get in the
later
ghetto,
on.
I become the 6-star. So all the 5-star then get on me. I'm the 6-star.
Yeah, Brother Dennis, maybe later on, there might be those who might be interested in supporting what Jojo is doing or what Pastor Caleb is doing. So maybe later on we could put the contact information, how people can be able to get to contact them, to be able to partner with them, to be able to be a blessing to the work that they are doing, you know, on the front line.
So let me start with Pastor Caleb. If you want someone to contact you today and to partner with you, how do they get in touch?
Pastor Caleb, are you on mute?
Oh no, I'm not.
If somebody
my number is
your contact number.
My contact. Yeah, my number. I'd like to give the easier one: 077-999-111. That's +231.
Just hold on.
Hold on, brother. Pastor Caleb, please go slow now. Go slow. Let do it.
+231. 777.
Right.
999. 111. +231 777 999 111.
Okay. Jojo, please give us your information to if somebody wants to contact you to be part of the house, to be able to be supportive to the work that you're doing. Can you just give us the information so we can put on the screen?
All right. One of the easiest way to contact me would be through my email.
Okay.
That would be very easy. So we just have jojohopehouse@gmail.com. And then we have coffeewithjojo2020@gmail.com. With that, I will get your message every morning.
Okay, so you have the jojohopehouse@gmail. And so what she's basically saying is that start the initiation of the process through an email, and then from the email she will provide you all the necessary information. Also, you all have Pastor Caleb's telephone number and everything. They are at the front line of a major crisis that is going on in the country. With the numbers growing and everything, I think the Pastor Caleb, that picture you had sent me today, where I was really thinking about Caleb Jefferson.
Yeah.
So I think the Caleb Jefferson, I was thinking about too. I think if the reason why we want to, the reason, this the baby, the reason why intervention is so important is that's It's two things. We have two choices here. Either Caleb Jefferson can grow up and become a Zogo based on everything that he's seen, or when we intervene, Caleb Jefferson can go to vocational school. Caleb Jefferson can give his life to Jesus Christ, where he can learn good morals to make good choices concerning living a better life. Um, with the So it's like while the intervention is important right now, so that you can give Caleb Jefferson can become a very productive citizen in the country instead of taking a negative path. So that's the reason why I want you, brother Dennis, please put the information there one more time for those who are interested. For Pastor Caleb, that's his phone number. For Jojo, you can email her, and then she will let you know how you can be able to partner with her. She will tell you what the needs are. Pastor Caleb would also, when you contact him by telephone, he will be able to tell you what the needs are. It was so important to me today for us to have these guests on the show and everything. Uh, uh, I have been studying what Jojo has been doing for a period of time and everything, and it's very noble. Tonton Caleb, he's my big brother. Pastor Dennis, brother Dennis, do you know that uh before I rededicated my life to Jesus Christ, I used to always wonder why Pastor Caleb and my older brother Momolu, they'll be reading the Bible and then I'll be seeing that this guy is so deep. And now I'm the one people laughing at today. I used to this is 1991. I had no interest in reading the Bible like how Pastor Caleb and my brother Momolu will be reading the Bible, and then I'll be like, no, I can't listen to some music, man. These brothers too deep. Now it's so funny today that I'm the one they're laughing at, but these are incredible people who are doing a really great work. Let's partner with them and everything, because that's the role. We all can play a role in this crisis. They're on the front line. We can pray for them. We can find out from them what the needs are and everything, and we can be a blessing to. Jojo, I wanted you to talk about, and then I will come to Tonton Caleb too. Jojo, I know you're doing this project. You embarking on. Tell me about that project, and then Pastor Caleb, I will come to you. Jojo, tell me about that project. That project with the housing thing, because that seems to be a major project where you will need a lot of support. Tell me about that project a little bit.
All right, so we have the Jojo Hope House project coming up. We already secure 2 acres of land around the White Plain area. So we want to start a bigger rehabilitation center where we're gonna have dorms and clinic and vocational training centers on a bigger scale. So we're going to start a fundraising program. That's the place right there. For now, we're actually doing gardening there just to keep the land secure and go back to the soil a little bit, because we don't have any money to start with. So we're starting with the soil. On the 11th of August, next month, we're going to have a fundraising program to see how best the Liberian people can be of support to this project. It's a $500,000 project. So yeah, that's why we are working and praying hard for God to bring his own people to be of support to this amazing work. Where we are now, we take up to maximum, for me, I would say maximum would be like 50% at a time. That is if I'm really jamming them up, which I don't like to do. So mostly I take like 24-25%. So with this place, as big as this place is, we can have so many people over there and be able to help them for a longer period of time. Like I said, 2 months or 3 months, it's not enough for me, and I know it's not enough for the family. So with here, at least we can have up to 6 to 9 months. Yeah.
Okay. Pastor Caleb, you want to tell me about what project you're working on right now too?
And before you come up, Hashem Famula say, I want to contribute to the process. And Hashem is saying, this is my phone number.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
I don't know if there way did you all see the number of the person who wants to contribute? Did you all see that number?
No.
I will put it in your bags.
Okay,
Okay.
Brother Dennis, if you can forward that information to both of them, that's an individual who has expressed, and I'm sure there will be other individuals, because who are watching the show that's going to get that. That's why I wanted the contact information up there, because it's going to go on my YouTube channel and it's going to go on other outlets too. You're watching, and then some people might not be watching live, but they're going to watch the show during this week. So we wanted the contact information there so individuals can be able to contact Pastor Caleb and contact Jojo to understand what the needs are so that they can be a blessing. I was concerned about this picture because I was wondering, with the picture of Caleb Jefferson, we need to do something, because if we don't really do something, the problem won't go away. We can't ignore the problem. We really, really have to get involved in this process. Let me is there something I didn't get, Jojo, is there a last big thing you want to say as we end the show, and then I will give the same opportunity to Pastor Caleb?
You are
That's on your heart.
asking about what the project we're doing now.
Yeah, Pastor Caleb, please. Yeah, the project. Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier to Jojo, we had this place called House of Hope, but when I saw it, we changed it to Grace. When I saw hers, we changed it to Graceland. By September 22nd, it is my hope that we will take 60 children under 10 from ghetto communities who live with their parents in the ghetto, and all they know is ghetto life, and they're not even going to school. These children teach me so much about the ghetto. When I go there, they tell me who is selling what, how children are used to transport from one dealer to another. We need to get them out from there. And House of Hope is going to be somewhere in Brewerville. We need to pay for the rental. We need to renovate the compound. They will be there and they will go to school in the same compound. And over it, we also have our 25 acres of land that we are improving. Some of the boys, I think 4 of them are there learning how to do agriculture now. Hopefully, it will be the real Graceland one day.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you. Well, Jojo and Pastor Caleb, thank you so much for what you are doing. We really appreciate. We can thank you enough. It's very easy to be sitting there and calling them names, but you have decided to be in the front lines, and we really appreciate your work. And if you are watching us, even if you're watching the show later, please get in contact with Pastor Caleb and CEO Jojo, as I like to call her. You can contact her, coffeewithjojo2020@gmail.com or jojohopehouse@gmail.com. For Pastor Caleb, you can call +231 777 999 111. Please contact and be a part. I want people to be thinking, you leave me, that Caleb we want. You leave me, that Jojo we want. I'm looking forward to a day where we hear those songs. But at this time now, we can draw down the curtains by getting anything that we didn't cover you want to say, or the thing that you want to leave in everybody's ear. Please say it before we can draw down the curtains. Let me start with Pastor Caleb this time.
These children are my diamonds in the dirt. They are diamonds in the dirt. We need to galvanize ourselves to work hard to dig the diamond, refine the diamond, and put the diamonds on the shelf so that people can be able to buy the diamond. Unless we work today, our future dies together. We need to get up, gird ourselves up. The first step has been taken, and I will say thank you to the president for signing the drugs law that took almost 8 years to pass. I'm hoping that we can put in more intensity to start building national rehabs and prison for those who are bringing in the drugs and all of that. We need to rehabilitate our children who are on drugs. Thank you. Our diamonds are there in the deck. We need to work hard to get it out. I'll turn it over to the princess of us all.
And Leo suggested, besides the one time, if you can get commitment, that people can make commitment to make, let's say, monthly contribution, it could be $25 or even smaller. You say, well, for the people watching us,
amen,
you can say for the next 1 year, I will give $25 a month, or for the next 2 years, just small contribution, something that we can spend at McDonald's or Burger King. You can commit and do that. Thank you. And again, remember that Gizi song, Yesu Kalama. See you, Jojo, your final comment.
All right, so first of all, I want to say thank you to Focus on Liberia for this opportunity. I had to stay up to be a part of this. I couldn't miss it for anything. It's an honor. Thank you so much. And I would like to send a message out to, and also a very big thank you to the government. The other day, Youth and Sports called all of the fighters. I think there were 39 different organizations that were represented there. And I'm sure they're trying to plan something. At the time we went there, we were still waiting for the president to sign the drugs law, which he already did on the 12th of this month. So very big thank you to His Excellency. We pray and hope, I think I'm going to speak on behalf of all of us, including Pastor Caleb, that now that the drugs law is passed, we should make sure that it's put into action. Not just passing the law, but actually implementing the law, making sure that we are all safe from this. To those of you who have kids in the streets, at ghettos, and you are very frustrated about it, I feel your pain is really hard for me too. And we can't just give up on our own. Most kids complain that mama abandoned me, my papa abandoned me. There should be no limit of support towards your kid or your family members. We should try and get our own out one way or the other. If you cannot get other person own out, at least try and get your own out. I strongly believe that there's hope for Liberia. And Pastor Caleb said something when he was speaking earlier, that someone told him that you cannot save the world. And he said in return that I will be trying until whoever that can save it come along. We cannot save this. We cannot, we don't have the answers. For me, this is not even my line of profession. I just got into it because I'm actually faced with it and I must do something about it. As a patriotic Liberian, a proud daughter of Lofa County, I must make sure I do something about it. At least start fighting until others can join us. So now that at least I know many of you are fighters, a very big shout out to all of you who are fighting behind the scenes and up front. May God bless us all. So I just want to keep conscientizing the parents, family members, the government, and every one of us that something must be done. We must take all the approaches that we need to take. We must do everything that we need to do and start guessing and start going in circles, just helping 2-3 persons. And in the next year, we got thousands of people joining. And in the next year, we just go in circle. It's not going to help us to get the job done. So let's do everything we can in our powers and depend on God as well to make sure that our country get a serious turnaround. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Right after this show, join me for FOL Justice Forum, or there have been a lot of cases in Liberia and people are confusing things. So we want to discuss murder and capital crimes, actions of damages by attachment, the authority of the Liberia Revenue Agency. All these things are related to the Gloria Mususcat case, the Musability case, and also the Spoon Network. So all these legal things, we want to unpack them. Join me right after this show at 8 p.m. Eastern for that. Pastor Freeman.
Yeah, so basically, what I want you all to do, all those who are listening to the show today, we've provided the contact information for Pastor Caleb. We provided the contact information for Jojo. You all, and I like Jojo has this thing on Facebook called Coffee with Jojo. So if you had I don't know what the number is with Coffee with Jojo, but you all understand out here in the US how much a Starbucks is, right? And so let's just think about if we had 1,000 people who buy Starbucks here. So Coffee with Jojo, just think about that Starbucks. Send that, and I don't know how many times you do the Starbucks a day, but take that. Just what your fasting this month would just be to take some of that Starbucks money and just send it as a contribution and everything. You can do it like that. You could do a monthly support. But whatever way that works for you, it's important for all of us to get behind them and be supportive and encourage what is happening, because they on the front line. They get tired, they get overwhelmed and everything. The resources they're working with is smaller than the needs that they are trying to meet. However, we do know in the Bible how as a collective, God can be able to multiply small resources. So to put the information in your phone, put the information in your journal. You can send them monthly contribution. If you want to do a one-time contribution, however way you want to be a blessing to what they are doing, it's important for us to be supportive of them, and they are on the front line of this particular major work in the country. That's all I want to say at this time. But one of the things concerning an individual might not be able to save the world. However, it took Peter's brother Andrew to bring Peter to the Lord. You may not, let's not see it as trying to save everybody, but guess what? Andrew brought Peter to the Lord, and Peter preached one sermon, and 3,000 people got saved. So if we invest in one individual, so my strategy is just taking one individual out of the ghetto, it's not going to be so overwhelming if we think about that. But when that one individual is actually experiencing the freedom that God gives in a complete way, that individual can be a major force for good in the country. That particular person's testimony can be compelling and everything. So let's invest in them and everything. Brother Dennis, you brought up a wonderful idea concerning you don't have to let a child literally and listen to those listening to this broadcast. You don't have to literally go through any legal ramifications here, but you can adopt a child by saying that, you know what, this child is at Jojo house, and I'm going to be supportive of that child. This child is in Brother Caleb facility, and adoption is just a process where you're saying I'm responsible. But these are things that can be done in terms of showing support to the work that they are doing. Yeah, I will end on this note, but something can be done, and that's hopeful.
On that note, we're going to end with our song that says, Jesus love us. Yesu Kalama. And join me again.
Hallelujah, Yesu Kalama. Hallelujah, Yesu